Okay, so here's where the questions start getting a little bit trickier. So set A, which has got 8 elements, says find the number of subsets which should not include 1. So we take 1 out, we're left with 7 elements, and we say, well, with those 7 elements, we can make 2 to the power 7 subsets, which is 128. Also good to remember here is that if we've got 8 elements, that means that the total number of subsets of the set A is 2 to the power 8, or 256. So we can see that half of them don't contain 1. So, and that also helps us with the next question. It says find the number of subsets which include 1. Well, one method is to say, well, half of them don't include 1, so that means that the other half, 256 divided by 2 again is 128, must include 1. However, if you just want a direct method, the method is exactly the same as part A. If we say find the number of subsets which include 1, then again we take 1 out. We say we've got 7 elements, and so we've got 128 subsets that don't include 1, and then what we imagine is putting 1 into every one of these 128 subsets, and they're the only subsets that can include 1, so there would be 128. C, find the number of subsets which include 4 and 5. So that second method in part B we're going to employ in this part C. We want the subsets to include 4 and 5, so what we're going to do is find out how many don't have 4 or 5 in. So we're going to take out the numbers 4 and 5. We're left with 6 elements, so 2 to the power 6, which is 64. That means we've now got 64 subsets that don't have a 4 or a 5 in. So what we're going to do is now put 4 and 5 into each one of those 64 subsets. And that means that there are no more possible subsets that contain 4 and 5. So our final answer is 64. D, find the number of subsets of A which do not include 4 and 5. So this is a slightly tricky one, in that if it says it don't include 4 and 5, it means that they could have a 4 in but not a 5, or they could have a 5 in but not a 4. So the easiest way to solve this question then is to actually use part C. Is that if we know the number of subsets that include 4 and 5 is 64, and we know that the total number of subsets of our set A is 2 to the power 8, or 256, then what we've got left over then to equal this 256, we just need to find this number that adds to 64 to give us 256, because that will give us the number of subsets that don't include 4, which would be 192. So what we should take from this question then is that sometimes we might need to do one more step. We might not be able to just get straight to the answer to a number of subsets that don't include 4 and 5. We might have to first find the number that do include, and then subtract it from the total.